Ah, stop following me! I can't get away from this guy. Oh, he wants me. He wants me. Okay, guys, we are back from the nether. And I've gotten a bunch of glowstone, a little bit of quartz, a few blaze rods, and a whole bunch of soul sand. So cool. Some things are changed up here. I did try to make this a little less derpy. I don't know, it's not bad. It's not bad. Let me show you what I did out here first. So I hooked up another one of these farmers. Okay, I've got a solar panel. Now, a solar panel from Actually Additions. Solar panel is not too bad. It's a little bit of this Inori and the advanced coil, and it generates roughly 8 RF per tick. Very, very little. This farmer needs a lot more than that. So you'll see that I've also got item conduits, and I'll show you how I handle the power in a second. But the item conduits is very simple. Extract on this one, insert on this one. Now you might say, duh. Well, that's because we don't have to use any item filters because it's smart enough to pull. Only thing that can go in here is seeds. So it's smart enough to pull the seeds out and put it right back in here. So there's no item filters that's necessary. So, which is what I was hoping. And you see we're getting a whole bunch of canola, right? We've got some rice now, and I've also got these flax seeds in here. So I'll pull that out, and really cool. I'm thinking about being done with these canola seeds out here. I've got sufficient power downstairs with that. It seems to work out pretty well. So I'll take all of this. I'll let the flax seeds go. And now, how do I handle only a little bit of power? You see that it's slowly building up. Well, that's because I have a sequencer here. Now, if you don't know about these sequencers, they're pretty straightforward to make. Sequencer. All right, so it's just a little bit of redstone in this machine chassis. We're going to be doing another one of these here in a second, so you'll see that better. But the way this works is that the first block, it sequentially goes through here and does the first block. And so it runs for 200 ticks. Then it doesn't run for 200, then 200, then 200, and so on. It goes all the way down here and sits idle while the crops grow. And then after 64 times 200 ticks, which this is 10 seconds, so 6400, yeah, I think that's right, 6400, yeah, 6400 seconds, it will go back up here and run for another 10 seconds, and it replants all the stuff. I've set this to loop 2. So that's how it's building up power while it can still plant. See, it's doing a pretty good job. There's another one there. The next time it runs, it'll harvest that. So very, very cool. And this guy here is smart enough, looks like it just ran. This guy is smart enough to work on redstone signals. So really neat. Now let's take a look in here so you can see I've redecorated, so it's a little bit better, right? It's got some pillars on the wall. This is just straight marble and chiseled marble, and this is of course chiseled marble as well. So it looks a little bit better, right? It helps. I've got a lot of these storage crates here, and all good. Now let's take a look at what we're doing over here. So I have doubled the production. So first thing is that I come out of the bottom, I loop back up and add the seeds back in, which is great. So this is doing a great job. Then this is feeding from underneath. You can just barely see the item conduits are feeding in. Oh, big lag spike. And it's feeding into here. And you notice that this doesn't have enough canola, right? It's not harvesting fast enough. I've expanded it even further back and still not enough. Now I've done this over here, and I've set this to a round robin when it comes out of here to distribute this over to both of these. So it should split them in between the two. Well, these two then generate our canola oil. This takes the oil and generates the regular oil. And then it feeds into both of these, and these are 100 RF a pop. Very simple, very straightforward, very easy to craft, and I've just doubled my power without doing any complicated automation or anything for now. The problem is that every time this guy runs, which is pretty much incessantly, it uses a little bit more, just a little bit, and then it says, oh, I got to make more, and it uses up more of this, and then which then uses more of this, and this is constantly running down, even though this doesn't need to run so much. So we're going to make one of those sequencers. So let's go ahead and make this, and one of those, and let's see, do I have any? Yes, I do. I can't remember if in this one I did that or not. So what I can do is, remember, in RF tools, if I were to place it here, it places facing that way. If I were to look over here, it would place facing that way. Same thing with facing this way, but I actually want it to face inward, so I look up at this section of the block up here, and it faces that way. So many people don't realize that. So it's a very handy tip, and you'll see people trying to break it and replace it and face different directions. It's just where you're looking on the block. You can also rotate it with a wrench if you want. So here we're going to do roughly about the same thing. We'll put 200. We're going to loop this once, loop all the time, ignore redstone signals. There's also a loop all the time, restart on redstone pulses. I don't really need that, but it doesn't matter which one I pick. So we just say run that much. Now this is going to shut off. This is going to stop running. You notice how these guys have stopped running because there's no more power demand to fill, and they're not going to constantly be running. And then, in theory, these guys should fill up and stay full. So that'll be much better. Okay. Whew, let me drop this stuff off. And through the magic of YouTube, we are finished. Okay, now you will see I have been getting a lot of these canola seeds from all the different plants that have been running, and I want to do something about that. So let's look at the composter. I'll get it eventually. There we go. Let's look at the compost. Very simple. It just needs this. So let's grab 2 of those. And then let's see if we have enough. Yep, we just have enough. Okay, so now what these are is, let's say we put them right here. And you fill those up with various stuff. Well, in reality, it's only if we take a look at let me grab some of these seeds, okay, because we're going to need them. So we'll grab 3 of those. All right, let's look at the uses of this. We could make this biomash, but we need this knife. So the knife is, we need a handle first, which is leather and stick. There is a knife blade, which is 2 pieces of iron and a flint. Now I have already made one of these. All right, so we grab it here. It does have durability, as you see. And so we need to do, I think it's shapeless, yeah. So it doesn't really matter where we put it. We can do something like this, and that will get us a whole bunch of this biomash. And so we take the biomash and we put it in, and it takes 10 of them. See how we went down to 54? So that will start slowly composting, and I can do that. But I don't want to do this manually. Screw that. I need a chest. Where's the chest? There's a chest, and let's grab some item conduits. All right, and so let's get these out of our way, and we're going to need this as well. So just like the planters, right, or the farmer, this is smart enough that it only accepts one thing. So what if I were to place all of these in here, and then I were to put an item conduit on here, and one here, and one here. If I were to say you're allowed to go in and out, then in and out. And then, of course, this one is going to be in and out as well. And cool, that should be fully automated. Those guys will then slowly start creating fertilizer. You see, I've already done a little bit of this, so you see I have fertilizer here, and this acts as just standard bone meal. It's very simple. It's, I have tons of extra stuff, and I can just bone meal all these as needed. All right, so pretty cool, huh? Now I have a ton of bone meal. There we go. My planter is now running. Let's check the status of these guys. Yeah, this guy I don't believe was full, but it's working. It's doing its thing. Okay. Cool, we'll come back and check on it. And this guy will slowly start working. And I don't know how long it takes. I'm guessing around like 3-4 minutes, 5 minutes maybe at most. It's not that long, but yeah. All right, middle mouse button is also works to redo do those. One of the things is if this over here is obscured. See how it's picking mossy stone? There's a chance, yeah, I could do it just barely, but I don't like having to do that. So you can just hit middle mouse button. It's the same thing, and it resorts everything in here. Another way would be to just type in garbage, and it clears it up, and then you can get to it. Okay, so very cool. What else are we going to do? So, well, let's see here. I have in my block chest, I have somewhere around here. Where are they? Is it down here? Yeah. I have some seared bricks because we're going to do a few things. Now you notice I have various tinker tables, right? Or tinker stations, right? If that's what you want to call it. Well, I need some weapons. You see that my diamond pickaxe that we used to get obsidian is almost dead. I already had to craft another iron sword because that guy died. This guy I can already repair, but it's made with obsidian. It's not good enough for my pickaxe and my iron sword, so we want to do something about that. Well, that's because, well, I mean, in order to do something about that, I want to be able to get more advanced tools. And if I do something like this, I'll grab this, and let's take that guy out. And 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So if you didn't know, let's see, which one is it? It's the tool station I need. Okay. Now, if you didn't know, I'm upgrading this to Tool Forge. The Tool Forge recipe doesn't work, at least in the first iteration. I'm clicking on this and it doesn't work. However, if you just remember the recipe, it's pretty straightforward. This is just like this, and then the tool station. Okay. So that's how you make the Tool Forge. Tool Forge opens up new opportunities. And so there's now the hammer, which we can do, which does a 3x3. There's the excavator, 3x3 for grass and sand. The lumber axe, which does whole trees at a time, which isn't bad, but I am using vein miner. And so while it's, you know, arguably shouldn't be used or whatnot, again, I use that for you guys, so you don't have to sit there and watch me take down every single brick or block. I'm constantly finding myself telling other YouTubers, guys, just cut here. I don't want to watch you chop down 47 logs or break all these one by one. So I'm doing that for you guys, and of course it's a nicety for me, duh, but I don't really need the lumber axe. And then I believe the scythe is new as well. But the other thing is this cleaver, and that's my personal preference. Now, the only thing I don't like about it, you can get a one-hit kill weapon out of this in 110. That's what I'm going to shoot for. The other thing is that when you're fighting bats are really tough because they're so flittery and jumping around like crazy, and you can't swing super fast to hit them, and you really need to pretty much spam that just to be able to get a hit off of them. So the other option is shuriken, I think, is also new with the Tool Forge. So let me get some infrastructure together and I'll bring you right back. Okay, I think I have everything I need. So I'm going to show you a really cool way of doing a smelter. I showed this off in my Unstable series. And you don't have to make the proverbial 3x3 by whatever smelter. So what I have here is I have a seared gauge. Now normally, if we look up smelter, we would normally see the, where is it? Right here. The seared tank is what everyone uses. But you can also use the seared gauge. And I've already filled it with lava and got 2 extra lava buckets for us. I've got a casting table and a faucet. I've got the smeltery controller and 1 seared brick, and I'm going to make I think I want 4 of those. Yeah, that's kind of what I pre-calculated, and I can throw these back in here. So I've got glass, seared gauge, a smeltery controller, and 1 piece of seared brick, and all I'm going to use is a faucet and a casting table. Why, you ask? Well, that's because we're going to do some interesting stuff. I want to get, where's my metals here? I want to get 9 of these, so it's a 3-to-1. So let's see, I always forget which way it goes though. Aluminum, I know I need multiple aluminum, brass, and so let's see, it was already there. It's 3 aluminum, 1 copper. Okay, so I need 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. There we go. All right, so let's go outside and do something with this. Okay, where do we want our smelter? I don't know. How about right here? Oh, I like it. Perfect. Well, maybe I want to expand the crops or something. Yeah, so let's put it right in here. I like it. Wrong tool. So yeah, that should be good enough. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this and this and this and those. Okay, so you always have to have a seared stone at the bottom. That can't change. But we're going to put, oh, let's say we put the controller there. Actually, I'm pretty sure it has to go on the side. And you know what's going to happen is my pickaxe is going to break while I'm doing this, and that's going to be frustrating. All right, the gauge doesn't really matter which way it goes. It can go there. And then I'm going to put a seared glass there. And if I were to put one of these guys right here, now you see it's formed. Now, just out of kicks and giggles, let's see if we can put it this way. Nope. It has to be this way. That's what I figured. Okay, so that's it. It's the minimum of a smelter. That's all you need. And you can use this guy, and it looks really cool. And I want it to be clear. However, getting dark, it is dark. I'm going to take this up a little bit higher. Oops. Oh, I'm going to need one more, aren't I? Yes, 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 indeed. But here's what I want to do. I want to, I also have to create a drain. Yeah, so let's go back inside. Okay, so we now also need a drain, right? So that's good. And we're going to need, let's see, I think we're just going to need one, but we'll grab those two. And let's do that. And, oh, I do need, darn it. Come on. There we go. And I need one piece of glass. And let's do that again. I did need one more of these right there. This is the cheapest recipe. Now there's another recipe where it's the seared window. And it's roughly twice as much for everything. So use the seared glass, a little bit cheaper, saves you. So I made 2 stacks. And so I'm a little bit over 2 stacks. And that's fine with me. Okay, so now I should have a whopping 2 slots. So I can put in those 2. And that melts real quick. And boom. There's 4, 6, 8, and 9. Now you might ask, why would you want to do this? Well, we can throw a hopper on here. It's not that big of a deal. It's just, and those will take a little bit longer. So in the meantime, what I can do is I can pop down this fluid tank. Okay, I can pop that down here or anywhere really. I mean, I can put it on top. I could put it right in front. Let's see if that'll actually work. And then if I were to pull out the back side, if I were to say, yeah, pull, there we go. So now I've got my molten aluminum in there, which is not what I want. Okay, so I want the aluminum brass. Let's get that guy in there. But that's not a problem because all we have to do is just push it right back in. So let's push that back in. That's going to dump that out, and all that'll be mixing. Okay, as soon as this forms, it's going to make us our molten aluminum brass. Okay, and we are complete. So now what I can do is I can go in here and I can say pull, please. Pool, as some people say. Okay, so now I want to throw these 2 things down. I can actually put this on here, or I can put it anywhere. So if this is sticking out too far, yeah, I don't like that. So let's put it right here. Okay, now I can do this right underneath here. Yeah, there we go. So now if I were to make anything, I can pour it right out of this tank. You say, why do I want to do that? Well, because this is portable now. You can now take this inside. So come with me. That's all I needed the smelter for. And so if I were to put this, oh, I don't know, I could put it right here. And so we could put the table down, and then I can put the tank recessed into the wall. Ah, perfect timing. And then I can put that right there. And just for pretty's sake, let's turn that off, because we don't need it. This will actually pull out. And then I can go into, do I have any of this stuff? Yes, I do. So let's say we want to make one of these. And let me grab some cobble. Wrong one, that one. Actually, I meant to hit that, but oh, let's grab that one. I like half stack or partial stacks. Okay, so let's put that in there, and watch this. Choop, choop. I don't need the smelter. I don't have to go outside. I can do all this inside here. Pretty cool here. Huh. Now, I will have to absolutely have, either I could have molten iron or whatever I'm going to pour, but I will have to take that out there, and I can just make another tank and so on. But I can make my casts right next to my tinker's tables if I wanted to. So that's pretty cool to me. And let's say I want to make this, and I want to make this. Well, actually, I'm going to make that out of wood, just to start out with. Give me some wood, please. Let's grab this wood here. Cherry wood. It should only be 2, but I'll grab 4 just in case. Yeah, okay, good. It's only 1. So now I can go take this if I want, and let's make ourselves another table. And just so, I'm going to need one of these guys. All right, table. That's what I wanted. And let's go do that, and we'll grab some iron. So this should be, I think, 2, but we'll make 4. Well, we might make this out of iron for right now. Doesn't really matter that much, but let's go ahead. Oh, I didn't bring a funnel, but that's okay. We can do that. So now if I wanted to, I could, let's put it right here since it makes it very compact. You know, me and my compact builds, and then I can place that down, and there you go. So now I can make my cast inside. I can, you know, use that aluminum brass, or I can use clay. Don't forget, we have the option to use clay. Okay, so what do I make the binding out of? Well, I've decided on copper. Now, I don't really need the extra XP. I mean, it's nice and all, but the durability is pretty good. What I really want is the ardite. So that will increase the, or I mean, it repairs it as you dig and mine, and the durability is huge. But I can't get ardite yet, but we will in a minute or in a bit. So what I've done is I've created, get this back here since it forgets it. I've done iron pickaxe head because it's magnetic and it pulls the items towards you, which is really nice as you're digging, and it's also cheap to repair or you know, repair. And then the copper binding, and then the wooden tool rod because that also repairs. So that's a good starter pickaxe. Okay, so let's do that. Oh, and the durability is 329, so that's pretty good. Now I want to make a sharpening kit, and so there it is. If I make the sharpening kit, so now we see that I have 3 modifiers here. If I go back over here and I put this in here, and I'm going to need a piece of flint. I forgot about that. Where's my flint? There it is. And I put that in there. So now we still have 3 modifiers, but now I can mine all the way up to cobalt. Doesn't change any of the durabilities or the mining speed or the attack speed or anything, just bumps up the mining level and keeps my modifiers. So that's really cool. So there's my new pickaxe. So really cool. And so I'm going to hold off on doing the repair, you know, the sword. That's what I'm looking for. I'm going to hold off on doing the sword until I get my ardite and cobalt, because that's going to be my next step. So let's take a few of these things out. Do I have everything I need? I might need a couple. Yeah, let's grab a couple more of these just in case. I hate how it doesn't stack like that. I think that's a mod pack thing. I don't know if you can change that or not, but it just seems to have always just added to the existing stack, and this one doesn't for whatever reason. So I come over here. It's pretty cool to be able to see the liquids in there, and you can see I have 1 copper and 2 molten irons. Very cool. But I want to place this chest right here because I'm going to put that in there, and we'll make an ingot cast eventually. We can make that downstairs. Remember how cool. I do actually want to. Interesting. Am I getting experience for that? Let's see. Huh. I don't know. So what I want to do is I want to put the smeltery. You know what? If I put that there. So I did put a hopper here. I was thinking about putting that in the table here, but then I won't be able to. Oh, I can get it from the side. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Okay, so let's take this and let's put this here and put that down here. There we go. So now I can still get to the controller right here. That kind of moves it over here, and then I can actually see a little bit better inside. So that's what I want. That's a finalized design. Nice and compact, and I can just dump stuff right in here. And of course this holds, you know, 5 stacks of 64, and it'll just slowly feed into here and melt it down. And yeah, this won't hold a lot, but I don't have big plans for this. I'm not doubling my ores with it, so I'm okay with that. I'm going to throw that in there. So that's cool. That's cool. Now, the other thing is if we come back and look over here, this guy's doing okay. All right. There was some time at night, but so it's, you know, losing power. This just isn't a good enough solar panel to do what I want. Now I can futz with this and so on. I can jack this up. I mean, there's some things that need to be harvested, but you know, more than half of the field is not harvested yet. So I mean, I can come in here and change this to, let's say, 300. And that might help a little, keep the energy up a little bit. But I got to deal with this stuff. So let's just put that there. That'll be overflow, which will be great. So no seeds made it in there. They're all gonna go back in here. If there's overflow, then there's plenty of room for it to make its way over there. All right, cool. And any prettying up? Why, yes, there is. Let's add that, and then I'll turn into grass. And I might do covers for this. A little unsightly, but you know, it's not horrible. I just don't like that that hole right there. So, all right, cool. I like it. Good stuff. All right, guys. Well, let's see how this is doing. Yeah, looks good. And look at that. It's almost processed all of our biomash and made us fertilizer. All right, guys. Well, let's do our sign-off bit here. Yeah, got some silty stuff. Yeah, there we go. Yep, good stuff. Okay, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. Saw some cool ways to do Tinker Smeltery. Saw some cool Tinker's tools. Gives you some idea on how to do the 110 stuff. So if you enjoyed this, then leave a like right down there. Right down there. And if you are new to the series, I'd appreciate a subscribe. So, with that said, just filling up in the back, that mash, there it goes. It pulls it out and pumps it back in. Cool stuff. All right, automation at its finest. So, guys, I will talk to you later next time. And in the meantime, have a good one. Bye. Okay, bye.